Hello and welcome to the 2021 Discraft Ledgestone Insurance Open. Today we are in Morton, Illinois and the Northwood Black Course, one of the most difficult courses on the professional tour. You're here on JomezPro with BigSexyBarri, Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
And up first, we've got Calvin Heimburg after his scorching hot 7 under round. He's at 16 under par currently. He's getting a lot of strokes off the tee. Drew Gibson, 15 under. He played remarkable in round 2, shooting 4 under. Ricky Wysocki still has not missed a putt in the circle, and he's birdied half the holes thus far at 14 under par. And rounding out the card is an up-and-coming player named Eagle McMahon.
Looking at hole 1, par 3, 455 feet through the trees, OB on the left side and long, bad rough early right. The downhill nature of the hole makes it accessible even at 455, though as we all know, that's a long way to go through the woods in one shot. These guys are going to try to throw straight backhand with mid-range or fairway, or perhaps a force-over forehand.
Thing to avoid.
Tampa Bay, Florida, Calvin Heimburg.
A devastating kick left.
Gatekeeper Media chase card check-in. Calvin Heimburg with the course record in round 1, getting it started with his eagle. Up the middle, stays in bounds, and connects for a birdie. Skipping forward to hole 10, the low ceiling, tight line.
This is such a great shot. They throw a fairway driver that low, that far, right off the rocks, and look at that connecting on the putt.
Now he ran into trouble. Tough lie on the 14th. Pitching up to the corner now.
It's just so devastating.
Also goes into the rough.
We're showing you hole 14 just to kind of put in perspective. This dude struggled out there in places.
This for a 7.
Calvin Heimburg taking an 8. An 8.
But he's got so many birdies, he's still on course record pace. Hole 18.
And just perfect drive, setting up the backhand turnover. And if he can finish this off with a birdie, it'll be a turkey in the last 3 holes. He's got to look, and you know he's going to make that. Calvin Heimburg, a bogey, a triple bogey, and a course record at the same time. Unbelievable.
7 under par.
Thanks once again to Gatekeeper Media for that check-in from Calvin's round in round 2.
One thing to notice in that last little segment, he threw this disc off of every tee. When you have a straight shot dialed with whatever disc you have and you're playing a course like this, that is your best pal.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, that's a good second kick. That's that tough rough we're talking about. If that doesn't hit there, you're going to be in trouble. He should be okay.
Drew Gibson.
Hey, I'm Drew Gibson. I'm from Sacramento, California, and I've been playing disc golf since 2009. I have 8 discs in my bag here. Pretty much my game plan is just throw the buzz off the tee. I mean, that's literally like, I think there's like 2 holes where I throw a fairway driver, and that's just to get to like the corner on the par 4s that I think I could birdie if I throw a good shot. But for the most part, I'm using minimal discs, not have to lug a bunch of stuff around the course and just try to play my game. I think what kind of persuaded me to do the multiple sponsor situation is just the fact that I can literally use any disc. I mean, Eureka, I throw PD2 Destroyer a lot. Here I throw the Buzz a lot. You know, I use the EV7 putter. I mean, the Ruin's great. The Jokery is great. I mean, there's 5 companies right there. Maybe it doesn't give me an advantage, but it just makes me feel more comfortable. This course is brutal. I mean, I think that we saw that with the coverage, and I mean, anyone that plays here knows how hard it is. I literally just try to throw my disc in the middle of the fairway and try to get up and down for birdie or get a par. Out here, par sometimes feels like birdie. There's gonna be holes you're gonna bogey, it's just inevitable. But the amount of times you could limit scrambling for bogey, the better you're gonna do here. Phil Arthur started EV7 disc golf this year, contacted me, mainly me being the only person open bag able to promote and use his product. I've been notorious for struggling on the putting green before, so my point to him was, hey, if this doesn't make me better, I'm not gonna switch. Like, I can't afford to miss more putts and try to compete every week. I think it's made me a great putter. I believe I'm gonna make it now. I mean, this is the most confident I've ever felt on the putting green in my career so far. I feel like that putter has just given me a confidence and like made me wanna practice putt more. And I enjoy warming up putting. Before it was like, I'll just miss so many times that it made it like not even fun. So having this putter and being able to just believe in it and trust it has really brought a new level to my game. So I think that it's just an overall enjoyment of the product that is making me putt the way I am.
A cool insight into Drew Gibson, a flashy player with a ton of power, but also a surprising amount of control as well. We saw him throw his buzz all over this course in round 2. I'm sure we're going to see the same thing again in round 3.
He's literally the butteriest player I've ever seen. Like, watch how short and compact his throw is with, like you said, Jerm, the control. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see ya.
Backhand daddy is what he calls himself sometimes. And that's why.
Might just sit down though. Oh, and he stays in bounds, barely there.
How devastating would that be to be OB long by an inch after that tee shot? That's the result he deserved.
Ledgestone champion, two-time world champion, Ricky Wysocki.
The patented yeah. It's funny every time for some reason.
Only to you.
I know. No. Comment yes if you think that's as funny. Oh, don't.
Oh, that's not funny.
But I think it's in bounds.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
So it's like a little funny. But it would not be funny at all if he went out of bounds.
Like if Eagle McMahon just said yeah, like it would not make sense. The character would be broken and it would break all our minds.
That would be funny.
Eagle, man of very few words on the disc golf course, very cerebral. Been doing a lot of meditative reading actually, and it's really showing in his game. He's so mentally strong on the course.
He likes the straight forehand, looking for a bit of flip up, and then now get your edge and
Don't
skip.
do that.
What kind of anti-skip was that? He catches a root or something and finds the out of bounds. He'll be deep circle 2 at best.
And one of the reasons you like the forehand so much in this hole is to avoid that result, but Eagle's going to have to scramble a little bit, and it's probably a pretty easy putter pitch up, but he's going to have to get a bogey on the hole 1.
Yeah.
See? It's funny.
Thank you.
No, I'm funny.
Could be both, could be neither. I'm still trying to
Figure it all out. Eagle, man, that was a good run for the par.
Yeah, tiny gap from over there, and it's low ceiling, but he's the best at those, really.
Drew, 35-footer, maybe just inside that, but he is pure on his putt. What a birdie to start the round off.
I think hole 1 on this course, as we look at Calvin connecting for his par, it's such an opportunity to set a tone. I just feel like it's the perfect difficulty to where you're probably going to have a 30-footer. You're going to throw a drive that you feel fantastic about. You're going to have a 30-footer. If you connect on that,
Boy, oh boy.
I feel like it just is such a confidence-building thing to get a bonus birdie on hole 1 with a nice putt. And that's what we saw from Drew Gibson right there. You just feel like off to the races. Let's go.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Hole 2, par 4, 580. Sharply uphill to start with a corner that you've got to beat on this right side. You see all those tiny trees. If you try to cheat it, you're not going to be doing anything but pitching out. So Straight is better than right. Just get as far as you can. I mean, ideally you could go right as well, but that's getting pretty greedy. Then you've just got this little slight downhill tunnel to the basket.
Drew will be throwing this on 80% of the holes.
Yep. And this drifting, fading slightly, right there in the middle. Pretty good example of why he likes that disc so much. Calvin, that's his eagle, which is basically the same thing for Drew's buzz. I mean, that's going to be tit for tat. When you see Drew throw the buzz, most likely going to see Calvin throw that disc.
That's interesting. I think that Calvin really has to down tempo on that eagle in order to get the same result as Ricky pushes to the left side, but gets love.
Yeah, that's actually fine.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, I think Calvin, even at a slower arm speed, is still getting turned because he's got so many of those eagles in his bag, and some of them are a little bit more understable than others. And so, oh, look at this eagle juicing. Is this going to go long the fairway, or is this actually short?
I think it's short.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ricky's actually going to have an angle here into the pin. Straight at it.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was going to be so perfect. Sit.
It's still so perfect.
Yeah. His mid-flight talk is some of the best. Good look at Calvin's second shot, what he has left. And that is pretty much perfect. Going with the putter.
Shot, go in.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, no! What a start!
Wow, I told you hole one could be a momentum builder.
Oh, my goodness, was it ever?
If he wasn't rolling yet. Wow, an eagle too. Let's see this again. This has to be over 200 feet.
Go in.
Yeah, let's see. What is UDISC saying here?
Perfect shot.
281, it calls it.
Wow.
Drew Gibson has just done something you're never going to see on this course ever again. He's more under par than holes played.
Oh, no. Get going. Doesn't quite get out.
Shot, dude. That was sick.
I cannot believe that statistic will never be repeated.
It literally landed in the basket so soft. The amount of touch that he displayed there, that wasn't going to be far at all in any way.
Yeah.
And it just landed in there like a floaty butterfly.
Butteriest butterfly that ever flooded. Eagle with a great save. Struggling a bit there off the tee. Hard to get around that corner. If you get a little bit tight, there's no way to advance to the green. And Ricky's going to make his birdie putt, and I believe Calvin will do the same.
Oh, look at that. I mean, 4 shots separation between Eagle and Drew in 2 holes. And it's not like Eagle's playing bad.
No, that's a pretty typical start for anyone on this course.
That's crazy. 3 under through 2. We might be in store. We might have something special.
He could shoot 19 down right now, guys.
I feel like he could go lower. No, certainly he could not. This course would never allow such a thing.
I feel like the black course is so mean. Have we even given anything to charity?
Star frames?
Yeah.
My groups did, but no, I don't think we did yesterday on the lead card.
It's not easy to get one out here.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, give it up a little bit.
Absolutely. Black course?
The only reason I say that is because last hole they were 4 under, but still no charity. You know?
I mean, you can still send some money to St. Jude.
I was planning on it.
Good kick to the middle, but I gotta think birdie
Yeah, no, birdie's
is
gone.
out of play.
Birdie went bye-bye.
Oh, very similar.
That's another birdie that's flying south for the winner.
Unless it just got fantastically lucky through the corner.
Yeah, so this one, you have to get down to the bottom of the hill and around the corner because it's almost like it's a dog leg, but it almost goes back to the left backwards in a way. As you can
goodness.
see his flight show you perfectly.
A1 tee shot.
Yeah.
I think that's a little long of where you'd really like to be. You'd like to kind of cut it tight around the corner, but he'll have a play. I like this better.
What I like about Ricky's, and yeah, they're both, I mean, I think they're both A1. I mean, that's way better. That's insane. And just the roll also. What I like about Rick's is that he accesses that wide backdoor hyzer. And I mean, there's basically two routes once you throw a good tee shot on this hole. There's the inside left and the wide right. And they're both kind of squirrely. It's really not that great of a second shot. But I think by being pinched off, I think he's going to have that. That shot's going to be forced.
If you told me you can have Ricky's drive every time for
Oh
the
my
rest of your
gosh.
life, we
Yeah.
would all take it with zero complaints.
Correct.
Yeah, sure.
Oh no, bad reaction off the base of the tree for Calvin. That's going to put him in a weird spot. Might have to go forehand roller or just turn over air shot through the inside line.
And he's going to make it happen.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
he scoots
that
it
is
down the
so
hill.
good. Just to get to circle's edge. That was a great shot.
That was awesome.
And if he just like an inch higher, that's parked.
I don't know if he can park it unless he goes inside.
Oh,
And
wow.
he does go inside. What a tricky guy.
Okay.
Ooh, tough putt.
I have been there. That is a low ceiling, and it's going to be a straddle with a very steep downhill grade. Can Drew get up and down to save the par? He will most certainly not. This is not a realistic drive. This is crazy good drive.
Yeah, who does that? And
Does-
still he has this little tight, a little inside. Yeah. Okay.
Open look.
Yeah, not a great shot from there, but it's a tiny 4-foot corridor you got to get through.
Yeah, it's hard to even imagine a great shot from there, honestly. It feels so tough.
Drew from the ivy.
That's good angle control. That is a really nice shot for Drew to be able to get up there. He's going to save his bogey. That can get really squirrely quick. Oh, great birdie for Eagle.
I think this is the first time I ever realized that getting squirrely is that like because squirrels are always like,
They're nutty, dude.
yeah, dude. I just realized that. So learn something new every day. As that's not something new right there. Calvin hitting a nice putt down the hill. Nothing squirrely about that one.
Look at this awkward stance from Rick. Not that long of a putt because it's so steep downhill. Catches his balance off to the right. Connects. Fantastic.
That's such a good putt.
Yeah.
Just a little stab putt, spin putt. We saw him have that dialed in the last tournament down the stretch of the preserve. Hasn't left his side. Drew makes good from there. I'm not nervous anymore watching Drew putt. He's 100% correct. From 20 to 25 feet, it used to be like you would watch him play on coverage in it, and it was like, all right, well, Drew still has to make this. And now it's like, oh, here's Drew to clean up. Proud of you, buddy. Nice putt.
The work is showing big time.
Hole 4, par 4, 637. The ideal landing zone is right about here where the drone is now. You'd like to fly up just right of the one big fairway tree. And then you're crossing over the creek to the green. Nothing is out of bounds here. You just have to navigate your way through, miss these last two trees, and find that top shelf to get the birdie.
Ricky gonna go champion Invictus or star Invictus, but he's gonna go.
Oh, you got to turn it over.
Yeah, he's going to try to go heavy turnover, but he does not turn it over enough, and that's going to put him in the rough on the right side. That's I don't think he's going to have anything from there.
All right, I'm going to play a game. See if Eagle can get to the bridge.
Oh, trying to go turnover, and that's going to be tucked away in the left side.
I think he could park this hole with a sidearm. I do.
I
think it's shaped that way to where if he had the height and it hit the gap, I think he could park the hole.
637 turnover.
Yeah, but it's downhill, and with it downhill and the way it's shaped, that it's kind of pulling it, and speeding it up.
I feel that. Drew, this is flipping up great and getting a worse kick. So
Nobody's in a great spot.
no. And like pretty much every single hole at Northwood Black, if you're not in a pretty much like ideal position off the tee, don't even think about it. Just figure out a way to get your par.
Shout out to the guy on my card who threw his drive to where Drew's second shot is.
Who was that?
Never thought you'd ask.
Ooh, well played.
Oh my gosh. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Calvin catches the middle tree. He'll have sidearm flex shot from there.
What a way to set up a humble brag.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I would go humble brag. I would just say a blatant brag.
Well done.
Shout out to me for my efforts.
Shout out to the guy on my card who threw from 270 and hit the band.
I'm not even going to ask who that was.
Never thought you'd ask.
Eagle has to pitch out to the middle.
Well, Calvin's not going with the forehand. That's ambitious from there.
Yeah, you just can't get the
Wow.
Okay.
chance.
Good reaction off the ground too. Good angle. Here's a look at what Rick's got. Not a lot there. Okay, never mind.
Oh, come on.
That is just incredibly impressive.
I feel like you're guessing because when I do that shot, I guess where the disc is going to go. I'm not throwing it somewhere. When you have those little twigs in your backswing and you're like, okay, general area, please be understable.
Look at that from Eagle going around the tree. That was inches from disaster.
Am I alone in that comment?
No, there's three letters that go through my head when I'm doing that, and that's POP. Stands for please, oh please.
This
no.
brutal.
Easily rolled down the hill even farther. If it doesn't, though, he'll be right around the circle's edge. Oh. Yeah, it's just outside the circle from there. Oh, actually, no, he did land right there.
Beautiful.
What a save.
It's a great putt from down there.
It's such a,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, that slope right there, it's so steep that you're only barely looking at the chains. Like the hill's covering up everything. So you have a very small window to hit.
Right. I was going to say, and his release point is very close to the hillside.
Correct, yeah.
Calvin makes that look pretty casual, as it should be for him.
Yeah, what a great par.
And I've got to shout out Matt Bell for the second day in a row. First day out here, he had the ace. Yesterday in my group, he was about 25 feet left from the camera perspective here, back in those bushes. He took a super gummy putter. He folded it into a baseball, and then he threw it overhand into the basket. And then it unfolded into a putter again.
Gotta love the blowfly.
And a bird flew away.
It was, I didn't know what I was seeing. Like, I wasn't watching him fold it up. I was just sitting there getting ready to putt. And then I see a guy just deliver a baseball throw. A little purple thing goes smashing in the chains. And I was like, okay. Like, did he just throw his chalk bag in the chains? And then it went, oh, I'm a putter. And it was an amazing putt. I mean, I never saw that before. So
World putting champion.
it was crazy. Fold it like a baseball and chuck it in.
Easiest hole in the course, hole 5, 451 feet. But first, the players are going to go about 260.
This just isn't an easy hole. I mean, it might be the easiest
Yeah.
hole in the course, but it's not an easy hole. Ricky is in a tough spot there. It's doable, but a very extreme angle. It's going to have to be a high backhand turnover. We've talked about it a lot on this course. The landing zones are so specific. Eagle is not going to find the landing zone here.
No.
And this hole, as much as any, it's absolutely a right angle corner. And you have maybe 40 feet that I would call doable. And if you're short of that or long of that, you're pretty much done.
And I think Ricky and Eagle are both long and short. And Calvin's going to be short.
And that takes birdie, I have to say, out for him and Eagle. And that's a hard thing to say as a commentator with Eagle on the card and Calvin. But I'm going to say it's out unless they throw it in from, I'd say 80. 80 would be fantastic shot from there.
Drew, nice correction from the other guy. He's not enough, though, but he might have that inside corner forehand turnover. But Ricky really the only person with a chance, and even he is tucked away a little bit.
I actually really like this hole. I wasn't sure how it was going to play in a tournament setting, but it makes you a little nervous, you know?
Definitely, because the shot is simple enough off the tee, but it's a weird pressure to be like, well, it has to be exactly this distance.
Yeah.
It's different. It's more specific than a basket, because if it's a basket, you could be 35 short or long, and you're still on the dance floor, and it's working for you.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
harder than just like a little short par 3.
Yeah, just as you say that it's not possible, Eagle is in the circle.
You can't make that putt. You just can't.
No, it's not possible.
Sticking to my guns.
Oh, my goodness.
What is that, about 80 feet? It looked 80 feet to me.
Plays 95.
Yeah.
Just getting on the corner is pretty good there for Drew. It's just very few opportunities on that inside corner. Ricky gonna go high turnover, backhand. That's 2 inside, but does it get lucky? Kind of.
Yeah, tough shot.
The reason I say you can't get birdie from there, I was there.
Yeah, it's not humanly expectable.
And they're both going to do it.
Oh, wow. But that was almost at 80 foot.
There, yeah, see?
Not the kindest little reaction on the ground.
I know that was a bummer of a roll. Ricky was the best drive really off the tee, and this is his look.
Come on.
Remember, easiest hole in the course, best players on the course.
This could go a long ways. Oh, he was just running.
Oh, dang it. They're going to do it to him.
When you run, you
better
take a
make
big
it.
risk.
You better.
The slow-mo cam is waiting for you. If you start running it down and it doesn't go in, you got to really think about that.
Okay, here's Eagle from about 82. It's up. It's still flying.
Outside circle,
and
too.
right in the heart.
What a shot.
Wow.
What a birdie for Eagle.
Maybe made the correction from Drew's line from way back there.
Wow.
Calvin with a nice par save.
Shout out to the guy on my card who was able to surf this thing off the rim for an eagle, coming within inches of going 5 down through 5. It was incredible.
Man, who was that?
I can't remember his name, but he was good. He was a nice guy.
That's low-key the best way to tell people you did something cool without being like, dude, you guys aren't going to believe what I did.
Shout out to the guy.
Paul, you.
Hole 6 is a giant of a hole. You throw from a very tight tee shot that bends to the right. It opens up significantly on the second and third shot. The issue really is the turn. And so if your drive is far enough, you may be able to get your shot around the turn to the left. But if it's not, you're really wasting a shot. You may be pitching forward 100 feet, and then the landing zone to get to that shot is really tough. So that was intended as a legitimate 3-shot par 5 with a potential chance for a birdie.
Is Nate Heinold play testing these holes?
Oh, yeah, he must be.
He's just shredding it.
I'd like to see Nate Heinold play this hole. I want to see him get a birdie on it.
Well, he's not making it for himself.
So this hole is so difficult. There's a walking path directly off the tee. And I had no idea where the hole was. I just knew it went backwards. And I'm like, maybe if I go down this path, it's going to be right there. It was not. It was still millions of miles away, even through the path. It is impossible to find the hole here unless you go down the fairway. This is unbelievably good.
Fantastic
But the
shot.
thing about it is there's no way really to make it around the corner. It's such a steep angle. I'm so excited to see what he's going to try to do from there.
Yeah, it really, I mean, great job on throwing a perfect shot. Calvin as well. From there, it's just going to be the touchiest approach. You miss it by a little bit, you're in thick rough.
Yeah, I think a theme out here, the steepness of the angles on the corners of these multiple shot holes are what make them so frustrating and so difficult, to the point that a hole like this and a hole like hole 14, it has me thinking we maybe need to think about a rule change, because the basket is directly left from the players. So we're getting all these weird situations where guys need to stand and mark the disc straight sideways as Eagle just delivers a rocket. It's too fast.
Slow down.
There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd's going to love it, but
Yeah.
Eagle gets to his lie, it's going to be like, oh, well, that was a great shot for nothing.
But I just think we almost need a new rule where if it's like common sense, it's like I'm trying to go this way.
Yeah.
Are you guys get running into those
totally.
situations on the
Totally, yeah.
course
Yeah.
where you get all these really weird marking rules because the basket happens to be almost behind you and left, but it's still, 900 feet away?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing to think. Like, why can't we mark it in the direction we want to throw? But I guess you don't want to have players standing closer to the basket.
Sure.
'Cause
I'll go to the lab. I'll figure out a rule that makes sense.
Calvin hitting that tree may be helping him, honestly. I think that would rather be there than where Eagle is.
I
this is
like
so
this.
Wow, cuts the corner. I mean, the
gosh.
result, fantastic. I think he got a little bit fortunate, but that's a beautiful spot to be.
But he hit the angle perfectly with, I believe that is a shot. It's such a scary shot as Ricky can't make the corner, because I think you do have to throw understable that pushes. And if your understable flips up flat, you're gone, and you're going to need a rescue crew
Yeah.
to come
Eagle-
find you deep in the thicket.
Oh, Eags.
He's just a scrambling guy.
That
Wow.
could be over the ledge, though. And I'll tell you from experience, when you get over the ledge, even though you're 50 feet away, a lot of bushes that are high, you're low. It's not that many open gaps, and it could be really tricky from down there.
Could you explain the ledge you're talking about? Because I didn't know there was something over there,
It's
and
a-
I can't see through those bushes.
There's
8 feet.
And you won't be able to see through them on the other side of them either. It's just a little river or a creek down there, and I didn't even know it was there until I was in the tournament on round 2, and it was
Oh,
wow.
I didn't know it was there until it was too late.
It was too late. Anytime you're throwing a tomahawk from 45 feet, you know you're in a weird spot. But I don't think Eagle got that far, so he should be okay.
Yeah, it didn't look to me like it went down there.
what an amazing par save from Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That third shot to get there was insanely good.
I want Ricky to make one of these eventually.
He's starting to. I don't know if that's going to get a Jomez. He wasn't really on the chase. I think one could argue that was just his forward momentum taking him towards the basket.
Looks like he's on top.
Yes.
So close.
Oh, that's a Jomez. Come
No
on.
way.
No?
Did the same thing last round.
Jerm,
Yeah,
what
man.
heroes? Give me the names of some of the heroes who were able to birdie that hole.
I mean, there was actually quite a few of them, to be honest. It's kind of surprising. There are 11 of them, but you know what? We'll give them.
Just tell me some of the heroes.
Oh, have you ever heard of a guy named Andrew Marweed? He's from Michigan. You ever heard of a guy named Kyle Klein? He's from Michigan.
Wow.
Michigan did well.
That's incredible. Now we're on to 7. Very tight par 3.
Eagle throws a dart, not the disc, just
The result.
figuratively. Yeah. Straight through the gap.
Great shot.
Ricky going with a AVR putter, I think.
Yes.
Oh, come on with it.
Maybe he says, oh my goodness. Maybe if you got closer to the basket, Rick. Jeez.
Let's see this again. Beautiful,
Oh my God.
gentle drift to the right. Lands with almost no energy.
Hey, Paul, remember when Ricky was kind of a chucker off the tee?
It was a long time ago.
It was so long ago.
I was in my 20s.
You throw enough of those, I guess you just get good at it.
Calvin, he's never really been a chucker. He's just always been a nasty, nasty little dude.
Follow this flight.
Ooh.
Good at it.
It's a little more bend to Calvin's shot, but no, not really that much. Just
Oh,
so good.
not quite the Sexton Ulibarri heart. Good try.
Yeah, not from those nasty boys. This needs a lot of flip, but actually this is still going to be okay. Maybe even take a nice little kick.
Yeah,
You're all right there. You're in the circle.
We're staring down some charitable donations, perhaps. If Eagle can make a good putt here.
Good
but
borderline,
that,
great.
yeah, but that little bushy, yeah, no chance. Whenever there's a little thing tickling you in the face right there, no chance. That branch can make it so awkward. This is an awkward little look, too.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's just a DX. It'll DX.
And those one hurt so bad because there's just no birdies out here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really interesting phenomenon mentally where just because the course is so punishing and just because you finally threw a good shot and then when you miss a short putt, it's like obviously any short putt on any round you've ever played is weighted equally to this short putt. But somehow out here, you just feel under pressure that's totally different where you're just like I need this birdie so bad just to fight against the bogeys that are waiting for me.
Shout out to the group out there that star framed that hole. That is just, it's so few star frames to be had.
There you go. Hole 8, par 3, 389. This one is just evil. I mean, there's OB right next to the basket. There's OB past that wall. Your drive must be over OB when you let it go. Gotta hit the gap here. Ricky does that, but this is drifting right. This needs a fantastic kick, which it gets.
Loving it.
Lucky.
One of these guys is going to just peer this. I know it. I know it in my heart.
I think we might have seen it right now.
Yeah.
Haha.
Wow. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, does it get more pure than that?
But not really, no. I mean, this is
That might be the
center.
best. Yeah.
I mean, it's the best it could possibly be, right? It's like no chance of going long, right? Nothing can happen there. No weird kicks. I mean, that is incredible.
And to put in perspective, Mason Ford on my card hit the rim for ace, jumped up, and we were all convinced he was going to be out of bounds. He was fortunate enough to be in bounds, but
Oh, boy.
and that's going to proceed to the drop zone. Instant bogey. But I mean, what looked like a perfect shot still almost went out of bounds. Calvin, on the other hand, not a chance it would be anywhere else. Drew, is that drifting enough? Oh, it is. And there's a wall behind there to slow it down. That's going to be right there on the green. Great drive. Rick with an awkward lie that he's just fine with after that nice kick. Just a bit of work left to save the par.
Eagle's going to spin putt this from here, or is he going to throw it?
Little putt.
It's makeable. If you miss that and you go all the way to the back wall, it gets a bit leaky, and it's not a putt you necessarily want to have coming back if it's for bogey. Yep. But when it's for birdie, it feels a lot nicer. And Drew able to capitalize after that fantastic drive.
Ricky still bogey free.
Calvin as well, and he's going to move to 3 under on the round. And that's kind of the number that you're circling in your head. You're thinking, all right, 3 down on the front 9 is a great score. And Ricky and Calvin are both at that number right now. Anything better than that on the front 9, you're saying to yourself, wow, this could be a special round.
Hole 9, par 4, 732 feet uphill. This is one of the longer feeling holes on the course. This one's going up and slightly right. Big turnover or forehand, both great options. Then you've got a pretty open approach if you find the landing zone until the last 60 feet or so. So you really have to pick your gap and penetrate forward to get a birdie.
.46 scoring average. That this hole would be the hardest hole on many courses we play on tour. And at this course, there are 5 harder. So this one is a tricky one, and anything off the tee that's not perfect can be devastating.
I feel like tee shots is very important here, but it's a hole that you can scramble pretty easily compared to the rest of the course on.
The fairway's a bit wider.
Yes, it is. It's a little bit more generous in other places, but if you're not in the right spot, trying to get aggressive and going for that birdie can be a little bit,
Yeah, but the thing about it is we're all professionals. We just lay it to the fairway and proceed from there.
Yeah, of course. It's played out time and time again. We all lay up. It's so hard to do out here. And I think that's the most important thing when you come to a course like this, just being able to swallow your pride when you're out of position. That's the thing that's a challenge for these pros, because they're used to being off the fairway a little bit many times around, but they still throw a miraculous second.
Exactly. My theory is if the putter can fit through there, get out of jail free can fit through there, baby. We're proceeding forward.
We're proceeding forward. all signs are a go. Ricky with a good forward shot. Drew with a good forward shot.
Good shot, dude.
Yeah, that gives him 80. Tree's in the way, so he's probably not going to be able to give it a great bid. I mean, 80's a good look for birdie out here, honestly. Yeah. You're thinking like opportunity.
You think he got to 80?
I think he's probably 80, 90 feet, yeah.
Okay. You go look at this. He's getting aggressive from out of position.
I'm having a hard time from 80 on this course because I'm going, if you 3-putt this, your head will explode.
No doubt.
It's like, so this one's pretty flat, so you kind of get away with a run here. But a lot of these greens, enough little slope, it's hard to be as aggressive as you might like, especially with all this hard pan ground. It's just going to slide on you.
Calvin with a chance to get to 4 down on the front. Oh, what a rude little ground play that was. Missing all the trees. That would have scooted inside the circle. Now he's got a pretty challenging putt for the birdie.
Yeah, he makes that, though. Extends his lead. Gets to 20 under, which is just...
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
It's pretty unimaginable when you think that... I think at this point, 5 over par, when everything is said and done at the end of the 4th round, will cash at this event.
Wow.
To think that he could be at 19 under par with a back 9 and another round to play.
Totally.
Not another round at Northwood, a round where you can go low.
Where you can get birdies. So, yeah, that's a big score separation out here.
Yeah, I guess Drew was a bit outside of 90 feet there. Upwards of 200.
This hole is so crazy. To throw a great shot as Eagle steps up to this long putt. What a birdie that would have been. To throw a great shot, you're still leaving yourself 380 feet from the pin. And I mean, we rarely come to a par fours on the Disc Golf Pro Tour where you're that far away with that long of a wood shot left after doing exactly what you wanted to do off the tee.
But I'm okay with it because they left that additional width on the fairway.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
I think it's one of the best holes on the course.
Totally agree with you. I think hole 9 is a fantastic hole. It's just it feels unique in that way where you have to work so hard tee to green, even though the fairway's wide the whole way.
Something to be said about what you were talking about, Nate, as far as I don't want a 3-putt. I mean, aren't we used to seeing these guys just knock down all kinds of long putts, and we really haven't seen anything outside of 40 feet, 45 feet.
Chris Dickerson, Kyle Klein on the front 9 making moves, folks. 6 under.
Whoa.
Is just mind-joggling. 6 under. Kyle Klein and Chris Dickerson are one off course record with 9 more to go. It's the tougher 9. It gets really crazy. You got Amen Corner with 12, 13, 14 coming up. But
it needs an even more sinister name.
Yeah.
Amen Corner's taken.
It's more like...
Let's think about it. Let's think about it off air. Thanks to the Founders Club. We'll be back. We might have a good nickname, but we're not promising anything.
Grinders Alley. I said it.
The Hallelujah Hallway.
We'll be right back with the back 9 on JomezPro.